I've spent hundreds of hours vibe coding and building apps this year, trying out new tools and helping my students and businesses build products with AI. What I've found is that most people are wasting a lot of time and credits doing it wrong. So if you want to be better than most at vibe coding, I'm going to show you my 4-step framework for figuring out what idea you should build, what to do to make it successful, what tools you should use, and how to turn your idea into a real app step by step. And we're going to do this by building a complex SaaS app together that integrates LLMs and third-party apps. Doesn't matter if you're a designer, a developer, a product manager, or a founder, this process is going to save you a ton of messy trial and error and credits. And I've tried out a lot of different AI generation tools this year, and by far, Replit is the most non-technical person friendly that's still capable of making really complex apps without me having to do any technical stuff. It lets you design it, build it, and deploy it. It has a super smart agent to help you. It integrates really well with Figma, which I like because it's a tool that I'm in all day anyway as a designer. I don't need an API key or to make like a developer account in order to integrate my app with things like Claude or OpenAI. I can use third-party connectors and integrations like Google Calendar. Oh, and I don't have to worry about losing all of my work because it has built-in version control. Those are just some of the things you really want to consider when you're choosing what tools to build your app with. And for all of those reasons, I'm going to go with Replit. And if you want to try it out too, which I highly recommend, then make sure to use my code in the description so that you can get $10 of free credits to try it out. But before we dive into it, tell me in the comments, what is the closest that you have come to building a really good app? Did you get stuck at some stage? Was it learning the tool? Was it the prompting? Did you have trouble coming up with an idea? Take a minute, let me know in the comments because I genuinely want to hear what you're working on and how I can help go deeper in upcoming videos. So step 1 is research and problem definition. Now, this is by far the most important step, but it's the part that people don't spend nearly enough time on. It all starts with picking the right problem to solve. And keep in mind that I said the right problem to solve and not the right solution to build. So I wanted to solve a problem that I had and that my fellow creators and teachers and founders that I know complain about constantly. And that is, how do we create better social media posts to get more eyes on our content? So for this, we need to do some good old-fashioned user and market research. Because honestly, building is easy now, good ideas and distribution are really hard. So I kicked off my research by talking to a bunch of folks that I know that are content creators to see what they're doing, what they're struggling with. Whatever it is, spend as much time as you can getting to know the people and the problem space. If you're thinking about launching and monetizing later, this is even more important. Do enough people have this problem? How would you actually get out in front of them? And would they pay to solve this problem? What about existing products that already do this? Well, Buffer is an example of one of the most popular social media scheduling tools, and this is what it generates with its AI assistant. So just because there's a solution out there doesn't mean it's any good, and it doesn't mean that you can't do better. But the end goal of this step is to have 2 to 3 big insights and 1 unique value proposition, and I'm going to show you why that's really important later. So after interviewing and surveying and talking to a bunch of people, this is what I found. Insight number 1. There is different social media platform etiquette and these invisible algorithm rules that no one really knows unless they have run experiments and tested it themselves. And insight number 2, AI thinks in content. People think in shapes. What I mean by that is AI might write a wall of text and it might sound really good, but when you post it to a place like LinkedIn, it's more about how that copy actually looks, the length of the lines, how many emoticons it uses, how many characters are above the fold, and just the general format. And what I'm seeing everyone doing right now is they're digging through their own notes, they're asking each other for advice, and they're duct taping together a bunch of different tools. And the ones that have been doing this for decades, they have figured out what works from real world trial and error, not theoretical, which brings me to my unique value proposition. It's all of that knowledge that you can't just get from scouring the internet that makes a tool like this a lot more valuable. And I feel pretty confident about moving forward with it. Step 2 is planning and strategizing. I need to come up with the features and the UI and the user experience that I want for the app. It doesn't have to be a massive startup idea either. It can be an internal tool that saves you time, something that reduces a repetitive task, a B2B tool like a dashboard or an automation, or something that consolidates scattered tools. And to save myself time here, I'm going to start by enlisting the help of ChatGPT. Now, as I mentioned earlier, most people are doing it wrong. They just type in a single prompt asking the AI to build them something. But if you want to spend a lot less time going back and forth with the agent and debugging things, then I recommend ditching the prompt altogether and doing something called metaprompting. Prompting is just telling the AI what to make. Metaprompting is telling the AI how to think. And usually it's done by asking one AI to generate a complex prompt that you will then give to another AI. That's exactly what we're going to do here with ChatGPT. So this is the Metaprompt framework that I use for every product that I build. I tell the AI the role I want it to assume, and then I have it ask me questions. Who is this app for? What is the problem statement? What are the user stories? And what type of app am I building? The goal here is to generate a PRD, which is known as a product requirements document. So I'm just going to copy and paste my research right into ChatGPT, and I'm going to just put in some bullet points of those insights that I've found and the unique things that I want it to do and all of these special insights that I have and that I've gathered from the people that I've talked to. And I'm going to say, I want you to act like a co-founder and help me build this app idea called Visual Virality. Okay, and so what that did was generate the meta prompt for the Replit agent. It's the PRD, the user stories, and that checklist logic that I talked about. So it has our goals here, and here is the core user flow and those platform specific rules that I discovered in my research, and some best practices for the checklist. And there's some other things here like how I want the micro interactions and special animations and stuff like that, some really design specific things. Some of the stuff you don't really need here. Replit agent will figure all of that out. The rest of it we can pretty much use. And leave me a comment below if you would like this whole meta prompt and my PRD. Okay, so from what it's generated here, it seems like I'm definitely going to need some help from other tools, maybe third-party integrations, and I definitely want to add AI assistance. Now from this PRD, I can start to decide what tools I want to use to build this thing. So here we are inside of Replit, and you'll see the main prompt screen here. Now you can just choose to design a prototype, and that means it's not going to have all of the back-end functionality, or you can go right into building your idea with the integrations, the database, the app scaffolding, etc. So that's what I'm going to do here. I can describe the idea here, and then it says use / for integrations. So you can see over here in the left panel all of the integrations that it offers, and there are a few more here in terms of OpenAI that was just added and the other LLMs. So when we go back here to home, we can see those when we hit the / and you can search for one, or you can just scroll to find the one that you need. So first I am going to paste in that problem statement and what I want it to build. Then for integrations, I'm going to do the / and I'm going to say I want OpenAI for generating content. I want, let's say, Gemini. It's using the latest Gemini 3 for generating images. And maybe I want Anthropic for generating further content or doing research. And I'm going to take that big PRD and I'm going to paste it in here as well. Oh, and if you have any examples of mockups or screens you want to use, you can upload them here. Okay, that just took a few minutes and it generated this entire plan. And it's letting us know it has these integrations. And I can also change the plan, which I'm going to do because I forgot to tell it to also add in / Google Calendar integration. So I'm going to just tweak this plan and get it exactly how I want it to be before I ask it to start building. Okay, there it is. It found the Google Calendar integration. We're going to click connect there. And then it's going to ask me to connect it to my Google Calendar, which I'm going to do. Okay, connected successfully. And now it's updating the plan to include that Google Calendar functionality. Now we have the option of building that app again with the database or just starting with the design prototype. It's much faster to start with the design. It just takes 5 to 10 minutes, and it takes longer, 20 minutes, to do the full build. So I'm going to start with the design just to see if I like the way it looks. So let's click Start Designing. So now you're going to see two panels. Over here is the agent that we can chat with, and it's going to help us make things and test things and make changes. And then over here is the preview area. So it's actually generating those designs and features for us right now in the form of just a prototype. It's actually creating the components. So it's kind of just cycling through, and then it's going to put it together in an interactive version. Okay, so it's done, and that only took, as you can see here, 8 minutes. And if you hover over it, it also shows that that work only cost $2.34. It has all of these sections. There are my posts, that's like the database where the post will all be saved. The calendar here, so you can see what's upcoming. Sync this to your Google Calendar, even analytics. This is pretty awesome. So if we can build anything close to this, we'll be in pretty good shape. And so let's see what happens when we actually try this. So let's just say I'm going to use productivity, and then maybe my goal right now is just comments. I'll leave this the way it is and then generate viral posts. So you can see all those smooth little animations that come in, right? And micro interactions. This is what makes it really special. And that's what it's going to look like. It's going to have the posts laid out in this canvas style so you can see them all at once. And then you can change the angle, like the way you frame it based on, you know, these different characteristics, and then you can regenerate it. And then here's our posting checklist with all those best practices that I gathered from my interviews that I put into my PRD. Now, there's one thing over here. I saw a really cool design pattern. I think it was on Mobbin that I liked. So I'm just going to grab a screenshot of that, or even mock something up in Figma. As you see here, I can attach a Figma design or a prototype or upload a file. So let me upload this file, and it looks like this. It's a little bit more information about each platform, which one's selected with the little check mark, and then it shows you that these are locked behind a pro upgrade feature. So I'm going to say, can you make the platforms look more like this with the check marks and info so that I can paywall some of the platforms? Okay, and there we go. It's added those platforms, but I noticed that X, TikTok, and Threads don't have an icon. So I'm going to say keep iterating on design here. Now, these are some of the little kinds of quirks you're going to come across and have to fix. And so what it notices is that it's not that the icons or the logos are missing, it's that they're the same color as the background. So it is reasoning and it is figuring out what's wrong and how to fix it. And there we go. So if you're a designer or a PM, this is a great place to stop and share a prototype with your team to get feedback and see if they like this direction before it gets built. So I'm ready to build this thing, and all I have to do is click build functionality, and it's going to get to work building the database, the app structure, adding in all of those integrations and making it work smoothly. Okay, so it is done with the build, and we have everything that was in the prototype. So let's check the functionality and see how it's working. So I can just share something here about UX and UI, and then I'm going to select my platforms, keep it casual, and click generate. All right, so here we have our posts, and these posts are pretty decent. Something that I would post on LinkedIn or that I would see others post. Perfect, nice and condensed and more witty and concise, as it says. So the thing I'm noticing is that it didn't actually generate images for Instagram or TikTok. So let's see how that might work. And also on LinkedIn, I like to see more emojis breaking things up. Again, I talked about the shape of the content there. So I'm going to start with each platform. You want to always take it in baby steps. Just take it one platform at a time, one feature at a time, one screen at a time. Okay, that post looks much better. No weird characters and a lot of cool emojis. So there are going to be all kinds of little things that you notice along the way, and I suggest putting those into a Kanban board, like something like this in Notion that I use to manage everything, and I'll leave a link to that in the comments. The next thing I want to do is address the fact that there are no images generated for any of these posts, and I'm going to ask it to have Gemini generate a relevant graphic or image for each post. All right, so it says that it's now using OpenAI for the post content, Gemini for the graphics, and Anthropic for the scoring. So let's do another test and see what it generates. These are actually not that bad. I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting something worse, but I can tweak this a little bit more to describe the exact type or style of image that I want so that all of my posts follow my own branding guidelines. I think it works with all of the text. It's pretty contextual. So a few things to remember. It's always better to start small and then add on as you go. So don't try to make a huge app with all of these features. Just treat it as a product roadmap and add one thing, improve and iterate over time. The more intentional and specific you are, the better. If you have an idea for how you want it to look, you can use other tools like Mobbin, for example, to find real design patterns. I have a link to that in the description as well. It also really helps to have the right vocabulary when you're talking to the agent. You don't have to get super technical, but you want to be able to reference frameworks or talk about the style of animation you want or the thematic elements you want for your components. It really helps you fine-tune the design and the user experience. Let's take a look at the rest of the functionality. Over here, I can see all of the posts that it generated. The options are to edit or copy, but I want to add it to my calendar. So I'm going to ask the agent, how do I add a post to my Google Calendar? So it's done some work, it's fixed some bugs, and now we have our posts here, and I'm going to click on this context menu. There we go. It's added the schedule option, and now I can select a date here, and I can schedule the post for 9 a.m. on Tuesday, for example. Your post has been added to Google Calendar. Let's pop over to my Google Calendar and see if that is true. Oh my God, there it is. There is the post right there, scheduled via visual virality. I don't know why this is just so cool to me. Seeing it interact with my app that I'm using every day, really cool. And so now we can log into our app and then get that post. So it would be much harder to do this with any other AI assisted coding app. Replit makes this extremely easy. But you can see how this is the loop. I'm now going to take what I built, put it into the hands of the people that I talked to before, see what they think, get their feedback, and then make adjustments based on all of that. And I've done some other complete builds on Replit. So if you want to see how I build other things and how I actually go through the deployment process, then watch this playlist next. And make sure to grab those Replit credits in the description below. And if you want to get better at researching and building apps like this, then have a look at my course, where you'll learn how to use tools like Replit and understand the fundamentals of UX and UI design.